Oh, it's live. Here we go.
There we go. Hi, everybody. Lee Tess here from eXp Realty, and I have John Kantorski here and Shelley Johnson. So, John, you just made the move.
I did.
So,
it's exciting, scary.
yeah.
Mostly exciting. I don't change. I don't move around a whole lot. I'm pretty contiguous guy.
Right. Been in the business like 13 years, did over 100 transactions last year. So big changes when you're especially not used to moving anywhere. Been in the same brokerage for years and years and years, and everything was really good. And all of a sudden, like, hey, I'm going to change. So was it that quick that you're like all of a sudden made a decision to move that fast?
It was a little quicker. I know you in talking to you spent years
right.
pondering over it to move your whole organization over there. It was a little quicker on my end, and I wasn't looking for anything. I had talked to another agent who had just left our brokerage, Greg Cullison, and it wasn't something I was looking for. It's just, I guess, opportunity happens when you least expect it. They always say, and everything happens for a reason. So, it wasn't any dissatisfaction or anything like that. It was just kind of fell in my lap.
Right. We looked at it and we were talking, it was like same type thing. I was like, all right, everything's going great, but now is this something that's something better for you? And as we talked, I was like, hey, is that something that like more fitting to where you want to go long term? Is it, more fitting for long term? Well, so I know a lot of people ask, like, what made you move? So that's what's going through people's head. Like, all right, you were satisfied where you were. So what makes you move after 13 years in the same place?
Well, it wasn't any dissatisfaction with where I was in any means. It was I'm very fortunate to have options, and just seeing this and talking to you and to Shelley and to Greg and other people, I just saw a long-term opportunity here for myself and more importantly, my team, my family, and our clients to set myself up, set my team up, all this up for current and future success. Between that and just the other opportunities within eXp with stock, with revenue sharing, with growth. So it was one of those decisions where you were in a good spot to make a decision. It wasn't I was in IT for almost 20 years, and there were many times where I took a job and I said, oh my God, what am I doing here? And I started looking for another job. This wasn't anything like that. So it was nice to have an opportunity, but it made it really hard too to make that decision, because I was coming from a good place, and now I'm at I think another good place.
Right.
So that was important to me. Financially, it was good for me and my team, and also the environment that I'm entering as well.
Yeah, I think collaboration, and that's one of the big things that we've talked a lot about, is like collaboration that we haven't had in a while. So it benefits multiple, like it's not just a benefit to you, it's multiple people that can benefit from building something together. So it's like you're partnering without being a true partner. Like, hey, we're not signing an LLC on and partnering in something, or you're not part of my team. Because we think back, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we talked, but joining my team wasn't like the right fit for you at the time.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I was going to be your buyer agent on your team. I remember that, and yeah, I mean, who knows what would have happened then? Who knows what would have happened? Exactly. I could have been hanging out in the Shark Tank with the Shark Tank people too,
But look at now, like things come back together, and I think people come into people's lives at the right time. Of hey, where is this going? And like we can't say all the other things that are coming up, but we have some great things that we're working on. Of like, what's this future going to be? And I think we're more excited than ever. And I go back to Brent's video of, hey, making real estate exciting again or fun again. And I'm like, I've been more pumped up about real estate than anything lately than I have in a long time.
Right. It just makes it more fun to be able to like work together and cross state lines and everything too. Like, I mean, you start running with people who do a lot of business, your business is naturally going to grow. That collaboration Lee's talking about. Mm-hmm. John, with your team, I know that it was a huge decision. You took it very seriously. You looked at the numbers to make sure it was a good decision for them. I know you did too, Lee. It was a part of the process of making the decision, and you were looking for long-term for them, right now and long-term. And I think that that's what all of us we haven't had in our industry in a long, long time. And to see you guys being able to like be such good friends, be so respected in your market, and be able to run together in the same market is it's fun to watch from my perspective in North Carolina, knowing who you guys are in Maryland. So it's been fun. So John, share a little bit about like what you see for your future for your business. I mean, the growth obviously, and where do you see yourself going?
Well, I'm excited about this to be able to collaborate with people like Lee and other people that I think we're going to see in this collaboration in this office in this area. So being able to have myself and my team be able to have those conversations. I've been with Buffini and Company coaching for I guess 6 or 7 years now. I'm a mentor. I teach classes. So be able to give other people and teach the working by referral lifestyle way of life, which has been important for me to keep in touch with my clients and love on them. Make that my first priority because I love seeing them, and hopefully this year we can see them a little more. We just put our schedule of events together. We're having 8 events and some socially distanced stuff, and hopefully later this year have some stuff that's not quite as socially distanced or maybe a little more in-person type thing. But to be able to have that collaboration, and the Buffini network I've been in is nationwide, and EXP as well being nationwide allows us to expand that growth of helping people. If you're moving to San Diego, if you're moving to North Carolina, we have people that can help you there via the Buffini network as well as the EXP network, but also associating myself with people who believe in working by referral, loving on your people first and your clients, your friends. I call them friends/clients because they start as clients, and I consider all my clients to be my friend, whether they consider me to be a friend or not, I don't know, but making that my focus. And that was an important thing for me if I was going to make a move to another office, was to have something like that or more. And I feel like the office we're going to have here is going to hopefully at least be as good as what we had, if not hopefully make it better with the collaboration we have. And the abundance mentality of, Lee and I are both in the same market, but we don't have to compete. There's enough out there for us to help people without having to be cutthroat, which I think sometimes people in this business can be a little bit. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is having conversation and collaboration with other high producers.
Yep. I mean, you're a giver. That's the big thing. So like most of us in our group are givers. We're not ones that are like trying to get something. And when you give all the time, like I think where you're always trying to train and lead and how do you help other agents, when you come from that, like you end up with more because you're just that giving person.
Right.
Just in life. I mean, look at your life. Your life becomes more abundant because people see that, and you're like, wow, he's always trying to build me up. He's not trying to tear me down. He's like, ask him what else can I do? How can we help? Or, same thing with your clients. You do the same thing for your clients, but you do it within the real estate industry too, which is really, there's not enough of that, unfortunately. So that's why I'm excited about the group that we have, because most of us are all the same way. We're givers. Like, how do we help? And what you had said is we're in the same market, but it's not like, hey, John, I don't want you, like, I can't give you my secret sauce. I'm like, there's no secret sauce. We don't have to work. We don't have to work. But also, how do we collaborate that we can build our businesses together and we all achieve more?
Right, and that's the most important thing. I mean, I've been teaching classes since for years now in my brokerage, and I learn just as much by teaching stuff as I do with the much I give, I get as much back, and that's what's fun for me, is to have those conversations and have a conversation with you, and how much with what you're doing, how much do you have to learn? But I think there's sometimes things you take away. Mm-hmm. Even Lee can take away things from having conversations with other people. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is and the things EXP can do to help facilitate that with the EXP world. The virtual environment that we have to collaborate with other agents across the world and across the country, and even one office over in this new world we're in of travel not really being as much travel these days. So having that virtual environment helps as well.
And when you look at things long term, because you're not getting in this for today or tomorrow, you're doing this for long term of like, what does that stock turn into 3, 5, 10, 15 years later when you want more for retirement and you want to sell a little less and so forth? What do you want your revenue share to look like over, it's not, hey, what's it worth today or tomorrow? It's what am I earning, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. So I think that long-term path is like, but it's that consistent and persistent daily things that gives you much more opportunities for that rather than like I think of when I left Remax or KW, I don't have anything coming from that. All right, now I did get $150 a month from KW, sorry. But it was, but it's not big things that are building. I think this gives you a much better platform. Basically, that's what we're looking at. We're all looking at different platforms of what's going to get us long term with the most dividends left over for us as our family.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think the stock and the revenue share and things like that are long term perks that if you want. I mean, the stock's easy to take advantage of. You can get it at a discount by being part of EXP, and then revenue share if you decide to help bring other people over and attract them to what you have to offer and attract like-minded people, which is what I'm looking for. It's just bringing people into the fold that want to work the way we do and want to support that lifestyle and serving our people first. And that's my goal of everything.
Yeah, I think culture. Who are you around is one of the things. What do you do? Like you're a giver, so always giving back. And what the other part that you just mentioned was the attraction, because there's a lot of curiosity about EXP. Because I know when Shelley was calling me for years, I was like, I didn't really want to hear it because I wasn't ready. But the natural attraction, the more I would see friends of mine move from across country, I'm like, wow, that one moved. Now that one moved. Now, and then we're seeing the same thing locally. So it creates ripples out there of like, well, what made you move? So from talking to you, I'd say stock, revenue share, was that your two biggest? And then just what can it do for your team? So,
yeah, I mean, for me, it was those things. Obviously, we're running a business here. I mean, if I was going to lose, I wouldn't make a move to lose money. But for me, it was. I know we talked about it the other day. It was just important to me to be able to be in a room with people like you, like some of the other folks that are going to be part of this, that have a similar mindset and they're going to support. The work, working with our people, loving on our client lifestyle mindset that we have. That for me is important as anything else. I talked to another agent about potentially starting our own brokerage last year, which I realized that's not me. I like to focus on my people and not focus on the building a brokerage. But we want to start a brokerage just to kind of work the working by referral lifestyle, and the people that want to do that, want to go and do the things and spend hours a day loving on your people. So for me, that was just as important as the money, to be with an organization that has people doing that and doing it at a high level, which I think what we're going to have is a lot of people doing that as a high level and that being the focus. So, but the revenue share and the stock, of course, are nice perks, especially with the way the stock's been going.
Right.
I know people that have been at AXP for a few years, and they're very happy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at where they're at now. You talk to some of them that cashed out some of their stock, and they're like, "Oh my God, I cashed out a couple $100,000. I would have been $2-3 million now." Like, oh my goodness.
Right. People that bought it at 6 a year ago. Yeah, stuff like that. But you're right. You have to be a place to receive it. I think there's people that want to make a move and are hangry to make a move. My wife and I do health coaching. We've been on a eating program and have lost weight doing that. And we talk to the people about it. And some people aren't in a place to receive the message of, here's what you can do. And I think the same thing with the brokerage of switching things. People get into that inertia of, this is what I know, this is what I've been doing for the last 13 years, 12 years, and I don't want to make that change.
So you said
I think it's kind of similar.
One other important thing, you lost some weight. It wasn't some. Number. You lost what? How much did you lose?
It's 110 pounds.
That's awesome.
Now. Yeah. And I had to be ready to receive that message. I mean, I know I need to do it for a long time, and I was ready to receive that message back in August. My wife and she's lost, I think like 60 pounds. So it's definitely, that's been a transformation of ours in 2020. It's definitely been a year of change as we get into 2021 as well. But being ready to receive that and put the effort into that as well, it kind of goes kind of similar to this, being ready to do that.
Well, you worked on your two most important things then, health and wealth. So we really we need our health, like no matter what, because we live on that hamster wheel. But then I think back 5-6 years ago when I wasn't working out and wasn't taking care of myself and I wasn't eating right and I was stopping at McDonald's for lunch because I was busy and I'm eating like crap and then I felt like crap and then I'm starting all over again. I'm like, all right, rather than I get up early in the morning, work out, have my day, and then I'm full of energy, which I'm sure now you're 110 pounds later, you have a lot more energy because you're not carrying all that weight around, first of all. Much less your heart's not working as hard, just health in general. You're there to help support your kids much more than ever too. Probably more clearer in your head.
Yeah, it's definitely helped in all facets of my life. I mean, much like you, I know you had lost a lot of weight yourself, and so here we are with our beach bodies. You're down in Florida more than I am, but
You're clear, like our business is a pretty stressful business, and if you don't you get on a plane, they tell you make sure you put your mask on before you put your kids' mask on. We want to put everybody else's mask on before we take care of ourselves in business. So if we take care of ourselves first, now you can help everybody else even at a higher level than you would before.
Right, and that was important for me is looking at the numbers and how it's going to affect the members of my team, Jennifer Sois and Marty Farmer and Tina Panati. It was making sure that I don't then be in a worse position than they were now. I knew for me it was going to be a better financial long term, but also making sure it was right for them because they're my family just as much, my work family, just as much as my regular family. So making sure that they're in a good position. And I think this whole collaboration is going to be good for them to be in the same room with people like you, having access to Lee Tessier and the other people that are going to be involved in this. I think it's going to benefit them as well to have those conversations and get different viewpoints than just what I what I tell them.
And it's one big team. It's not like our real estate teams that you have that separately, but there's no I in any of that, in teams. So when you look at it, we're all collaborating at a bigger, and I think of Shelley. Shelley's in North Carolina, and we have others outside of that, and Brent and different ones that participating, helping. But you have all of these people helping you rather than this. Like when I was an independent brokerage, I had this many people helping versus where we're at now. So what I've seen in just a couple, month and a half is, how many more agents that we've hired for our team because the natural attraction of agents going, wow, EXP. And then also, hey, we're hiring, and these other agents that we know are saying, hey, go look at his team that are already in EXP. So you're going to get the same similar thing. And that's what we talk about is like, how do we grow our teams? So as we have like a newer agent coming in, we don't want them to come in and flounder. They should go on the team. So go on one of our teams. How do we build them up? They're more successful. They want to go on their own, great. But not everybody's built to go on their own. When you look at, I'm reading Ron Howard's new book, and he talks about race car. So, we got pit stops, and you need a pit crew. So you can't be the driver, the pit crew, changing the tires, putting gas in, and all that stuff. That's the same thing with our real estate industry. Like one agent tries to do all those things. You can only do so many of them, like a lot smaller scale. But as you get more of those more of the right pit crew, now the car can go faster. You can win more races, stuff of that sort, and everybody does better together. And that's what I'm seeing with EXP is like we all do better because we're all trying to build a company bigger because we all benefit from the stock. If the stock keeps climbing, what do we do? We all benefit from that.
That's true. Yeah, and it's been amazing to me. I shouldn't say amazing, but I've been very pleasantly surprised by how supportive other people within EXP have been across the country who maybe don't even know me. I didn't know Shelley at all until talking to her through you and Greg, but just her support and Brent and other people. It's amazing that people are so giving, and I've seen that even within my old brokerage, people were. But it's just nice to see, like across the country, how people can be so supportive and giving of their time, of their knowledge, and that's what I'm excited about too. Like I like to educate. I was an education major for 2 years until I realized I didn't have the patience to be a high school math teacher. Right out of class at one point if I was in an actual high school. But I've always had that education mentality. So it's great to see that supported here as well and be able to kind of control what what we do with that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, you mentioned Greg earlier, so we was thinking because Shelley had conversation with him too. So when he moved over, he was worried like, all right, we're going into a virtual world. What about if I'm trying to get a hold of the broker? And he's like, wow, it's even faster with the virtual world than it was before, because he was like, that was a concern. And
Yeah.
he's like, wow, that concern's gone because I can get a hold of them so fast. Yesterday, I had somebody in my office and we were talking about the world. So I went in and showed them. I was like, all right, this is how you get to the broker, blah, blah. We can go state. So I went to Pennsylvania, I went to Maryland. And, as soon as I went to Maryland I literally walked into the office space. I didn't even go in the broker's office. I was in the hallway and they're like, hey, Lee, anything I can help you with? And I was like, wow, that was really quick.
Yeah, I was in there too. And he called me like an hour later. So I saw you in there. Did you need something? So it was nice to, even though it's a little more virtual, to know that they're there and right at the ready to help, and even more so that I wouldn't even look for help and they can make sure that I didn't need anything.
Right, you have 650 employees in the company that are helping to like, how do we support the agent? And that's what this is all about. How do we get the agent? The more agents they get in the company, the more the company grows, and everybody benefits. So it's just kind of interesting of how fast it's growing. You're seeing that upward trajectory right now of how much it's grown. Even when I signed up in Florida in September, just poking holes and things, to January, there was 10,000 agents join in that period of time. I was like, wow. So things are moving pretty quickly. So just interesting model. It's super solid. I'm glad all the roads are paved already, so we don't have to worry about hey, these rocky roads in the beginning when there's 2,000 agents. Now you got 46,000 agents and everything's pretty smooth on getting onboarded and so forth. So
it's been overall a smooth move over on the EXP side with all the systems you have in place. So I'm glad we're not reinventing the wheel in a lot of regards. Like I said, I was going to start a brokerage. I would have reinvent all these different things, and it was nice not to have to do that.
Yeah, but I think as you get in more, because I know I'm learning every day when I get in and look at like the back end of enterprise, and it tracks all your business, and it tracks your stock, and it tracks your revenue share. And I was like, wow, pretty interesting looking at all that in one spot. Where before I had a spreadsheet and then a different spreadsheet, and a different spreadsheet, so I had to go to different ones, and it's just they've built a great technology.
Having the tools available is helpful to you to have those available to you to use, for sure. Yeah, exciting.
To run, and to me, like we were looking at doing a boutique, kind of like what Lee had and what you were considering, John, of doing a brokerage. And I looked at the model and I was like, when I started looking at all the tools, I was like, they've got everything in place, and that's not what I'm good at anyway. So why would I want to start trying to do that? I mean, I could build a boutique, but then I'd have to hire more people. And I always talk about how, every leverage point, there's one chapter they left out of the book that tells you how to build a team. And that's the chapter about doing 20 more transactions to hire that next leverage point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'd have to go out on Saturday and Sundays and evenings to be able to make enough money to pay that next person for that leverage point in my business. And I thought, if this company has 650 employees in the world, like you're talking about, that are ready to help you at the drop of a hat, it's so leveraging, and you kind of feel like a boutique inside the company. They let you keep your branding. You get to be who you are. Lee, nothing's changed for you at all, has it?
Well, a lot less. So it's like even tracking a couple of things that I talked to my office manager, and she's like, well, I wasn't quite doing that before, but now we're doing this at a higher level. I was like, all right, good. So we're improving systems constantly.
Right.
So I think that, you've talked about change in the beginning. Change is never fun. So, we had bumps on the road because we have, 25 people or so here. So it was just figuring out new systems, which change is lovely and change is a pain in the butt. But then what happens? Like my team, we've hired 5 agents. We plan on hiring 10 to 15 more in the next few months. So how do we do that? We need to do it with leverage. So leveraging the world of like, all right, you're going to go in and take contract class in EXP. So they have it 3 times a month. Go in, make sure you do it. And then we're going to do it once a month after, just to make sure you understand the contract, because that's the most important thing. So again, I can leverage in different directions, especially with growth. I think, we've all gotten better with Zoom, right? How much did you use Zoom in 2019 versus, if you looked at 2020, that's a stock that we should have bought as well. But when you look at that, where is the future heading? You can do a much more virtually and do everything without printing everything and all the paper that we use and consume before. So I just think that as technology keeps evolving, and now you're getting closer to 50,000 agents, and they're pouring into EXP, they're going to continue to improve the technology and move faster. So how do we move faster and it's still the same cost to us, and we're not paying millions of dollars for all this new technology,
right?
Which makes a big difference where you would as an individual. Because I mean, me as an individual brokerage, now I got to go pay another $1,000 a month for this platform, and I got $500 a month for this platform, and I need this and that. So that's the point with the individuals. And I can see that there's going to be a lot of pressure on small brokerages because even though like some people would say, hey, I'm going to go to 100% brokerage, there's still costs. I mean, you had some costs where you were before. I mean, and that you can't survive in business without costs. I mean, nothing's free. There's no free lunches out there that are totally free. So this gives you, hey, here's a smaller cap, but you can help build this company even more. And when you help build the company, there's benefits by stock, revenue, and profit, just profit share profit share. No.
Right.
Revenue
share. Revenue share.
You want revenue, not like not net profit when you're paid off that bottom line. You want to be paid off the top line, which makes a huge
that's definitely an attractive feature. Yeah.
But Lee, your branding all stays the same. I mean, your brand, like Tessier Real Estate Group, is the same. And that's really what I was referring to as far as like everything. All you do is slap a little EXP on the bottom of it,
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It stays the same. You get to brand yourself, not the company.
Exactly.
That's been an easy thing too. Yeah, changing your branding, not to change your branding, and also maintaining your relationships. I work with Primary Residential Mortgage, which is great. Lawyers Express Title, which are great companies that help my clients and our friends and family, with their purchases and sales, and not having to change those relationships to me was important too. To be able to maintain that, and people I trust and people I trust implicitly to help our people. Get where they need to get, and not having to change that relationship was really important to me too.
100%. We were in the same boat. So I think there's similarities with, and I think that's why we align so well when you're looking at these things. Like, all right, it comes back to the more we give for the right reason. We're not giving to get, but when you give and give and give stuff, and the law of reciprocation happens. But also, if you're doing it for the right reason, you're trying to make somebody's life better. You're not trying to bait and switch somebody like, oh, you need to look at this shiny object, and then the shiny object's not so shiny a month later. But I think, and that was my thing, is like, I really needed to vet EXP before I went from an independent brokerage that we had for 3 years back to, because I had somebody say that to me all day, like, hey, I know you worked so hard to get to an independent, and then 3 years later you're going, and he said a year later, because this was last night conversation, he said a year later you went to, now you're back with a big company. And I was like, well, it was 3 years. And they're like, holy shit, 3 years. I was like, yeah, but these are the reasons why. And I showed him a couple of my screen shares, and he's like, oh, I totally get it now. So you have to, like, from looking at it from the outside and not knowing, or like from an agent perspective, EXP, like, what is that? But once you start, like, look at the model, listen to what it is. And each time I listen to the model explained, I still pick something else up in it. Like, they talk about the 50-50, like at some point, like, your revenue share could increase, because as the company grows and they have now title and mortgage and different stuff that people are feeding, revenue is going to go up. Now they have more to split off, and it's always going to be 50% to the company, 50% that they give back to the agent. So I was like, that's exciting to see, because see if those numbers bump up even farther, what do those numbers look like back to us as we help grow a company? So I mean,
setting yourself up for long, which in real estate you don't want to have that many long-term ways to retirement plans, pensions, 401k, stuff like that. So having something like that available to you via the stock, via the revenue share, is certainly something that's been that was attractive to me. Now that I'm 40, almost 46, and not 26, you start to think, not end game, because I'm never going to stop doing this. Like I think we said the other day, if I stop selling real estate, I would drop dead 3 months later. If I stopped working, I've been working since I was 5 years old, essentially, and so I'm never going to stop working. But being able to do this, not nose to the grindstone like we do right now, that's planning for that now more so than planning for how am I going to grow this empire, which may have been the mindset 10 or 15 years ago.
But your mindset's not, hey, I'm going to come over here and do less and just make revenue share. You're selling houses.
Right.
You go, hey, I want to sell more houses. I think that all three of us are. Hey,
absolutely.
I want to get our sales even higher. And if we have the right people coming in, because you're having conversations from natural attraction, you end up hiring people to your team. And then now your sales are going up, and then everything else goes with it. And then it increases quality of life. So,
I love what I do. I love this. Some people try to get out of it, but I love nothing more than sitting down with a first-time home buyer and explaining the process, or meeting sellers and talking about, you should keep this and rent it. Or I'm one of the few realtors that try to get people. I have 6 rental properties, so I'm one of the few agents that try to get people not to sell their house. I told 3 people this week not to sell their house and keep it as a rental, and so I love doing this, and I love what I do. So I'm not trying to find ways to exit it, at least not yet.
Right. But you're also, I think you get to fill me up from talking to you too, of helping your agents. When you see your agents' growth, and you see it each year, like, wow, their life's improving. That's more rewarding than any commission check that we get. I know for me, like, and you, as many conversations that we had about this is like, all right, seeing the agent grow and grow and grow, but helping them get what they want. Sometimes we want more for them, and sometimes they want more. But if we can help them grow and get where they want, now that's a huge win, rather than, hey, we sold another property or we got a first-time home buyer in it, which is exciting. But now you've improved their life. That's life-changing. Period.
Yeah. And for me, I've had a few agents grow and leave the team, which I think people are better off with the team in the end. But the people that have left, I'm proud of that, because there's a lot of bad agents out there, and the fact that I was able to help create or guide somebody who's now giving our industry a good name instead of the used car salesman types that give our industry a bad name. There's a lot of those. That feels good too. Obviously, it's always sad when they leave, but to see somebody out there, and I have a few agents who are good friends of mine who are on my team, and now they're successful, and I hope that I played some part in that and helping them be successful. And so that for me is really fulfilling.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably one of the most rewarding things I love in the business is, like, you're helping enough others get what they want. When you do, then you get rewarded too. But if you improve their life, and they do leave. I mean, unfortunately, I've lost several of my agents that are on my team, but I'm happy for them, because the same type of thing. You help change their thought process. Working out with Reed this morning, we were talking about it. I was like, all right, you went from selling 20 some a year to last year you did 80 homes. Is your thought process different? He's like, I've become a better person just from watching and surrounding myself with more positive people, going to different events. And I think that's it, is like, all right, the more we collaborate again, how do it, like, oh my God, I like the way that person thinks, and they're a multimillionaire. I think of Brent and Gene and different ones I've talked to, like, all right, well, they are probably one of the nicest, genuine people you ever meet, and they have more, like, they don't need the money. They're doing it because the reward of purpose, and how do you help people's lives get better? And I think that's what feeds in the EXP.
Brian Buffini said he said in one of his courses that, money just amplifies who you are.
Correct.
Yeah, if you're a jerk, it's going to potentially amplify your jerkiness. But it doesn't solve issues. It just amplifies the person you are. So having money or success, it doesn't change you. It just amplifies it. So that's always stuck with me. It's seeing somebody like you who's just has been a fixture and held with high esteem in the business, that has been so giving to me and other people during this process, even before with your foundation. I've been to your golf tournaments, stuff like that. So giving back is just important to your agents, to your team, to your brokerage, and to your people.
Yeah, I think when we give back to the industry too, I think that's so important. Like, RPAC gets overlooked. So this is a whole nother subject. You think about RPAC, but that we don't want tax on our income. Additional tax. We already pay enough taxes. I think we're trying to push another 6% sales tax on commission. And I'm like, all right, we need to make sure that we continue to support RPAC for those reasons. So, support the industry, make sure anytime we can give a helping hand. I mean, one of the things with EXP is the more you help each other, the better they do, but you do get rewarded, where most of the time, like, think of all the people that you brought in your last brokerage, you don't get any dividends from that anymore, or ever.
Right.
Maybe you get, I think of Brent talking about, hey, you get his Starbucks card for bringing this Remax producer in. You got a $30 gift card, or and he's like, all right, well, this pays you dividends for helping somebody improve their life, and then the more you can again build people up, the better off they are in quality of life. And what purpose do they have? Do they have more purpose now? Like I feel like I have more purpose than I've had in a while. I'm always into something and so forth. And I think that you'll see, like, I think you're always seeing it. We're having enough conversations like, all right, where's this going? Like your text this morning was, it just cracked me up to the bunch of us. And I was like, all right, we're moving in the right direction. Come on in. The water's warm, So, yeah.
Jump on in.
Right. Exactly. So, I'm looking for the Florida warm weather and so forth, and warm water. So,
yeah. I'm jealous of going back down there.
Exactly. Well, that's why I said we're going to have a mastermind down there. So
set it up.
So, all right. Anything else that we missed? Anything like parting last couple words on here of giving input to agents? As I know different ones watch it, and like, what would you have for advice of somebody that's like, hey, do I really want to move? I'm happy where I'm at.
Well, if you stuck around for 35 minutes, I give you a lot of credit hearing me and lead your on. But it was just the right move for me. It's got to be the right move for the person, and got to be in the right mindset. But for me, it just made sense with the collaboration, the revenue and financial model, the training and education model, and just the chance to be in the same room with some top-notch agents and people. Was really the big draws for me, because like I said, I wasn't unhappy where I was, but I'm excited and happy about this opportunity and working with these people. Thank you.
I'm excited for the future. So for all of us.
Yeah. Thanks so much for this time.
Definitely.
That's
all right,
guys. I love it.
All right.
Thanks, Shelley. Thanks, Lee.
Guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day. See ya.
Bye-bye.